Good afternoon, everyone. This is BremSter, and today I am going to attempt a puzzle called Crust Count Arrows by RockyRoer. This was a submission that came in a couple of months ago, and my testers were like, oof, this one can be tricky. It's a 6x6 Sudoku. Don't be put off by the side of the grid. There's some digits that get placed outside the main grid. But I was told that this one has some tricks to it, so we'll see how I go. So normal, I'm going to drive the state again. I am looking for more submissions or recommendations. So if you are a puzzle solver who frequently gets your puzzles from somewhere other than my channel, please consider checking out my submission guidelines below. Anyway, normal Sudoku rules apply. They're normal 6x6 Sudoku rules. So into every 2x3 region, row, and column, the digits 1 to 6 must be placed without repetition. We have sandwich. So numbers outside the grid which must be deduced are the sum of the digits between the 1 and the 6 in that row or column. Now I'm assuming it's where these arrows are that we have to place digits, but I'll get to that in a second. But say this digit here was a 7, then between the 1 and the 6 in this row or column, we would have to have digits summing to 7. If this was a 12, which I don't know, it might be possible, then between the... Is that possible? You could have 4, 5, and 3 would be 12, yep. So that would mean you could have, say, a 1 here and a 6 here, and these could be 3, 4, and 5, and that would sum to 12. So that would be a valid way of doing a sandwich sum in a 6x6 Sudoku. Hadn't even thought about it. Okay, so then we've got crust count arrows, which are these little arrows. Numbers in the cells containing arrows are the total count of all the crust cells, 1s and 6s, within the 6x6 grid pointed at by the arrows in that cell. Numbers in cells containing arrows are the total count of all the crust cells, 1s and 6s, within the 6x6 grid. So I'm trying to think what that means. So that means if this was a 5, for example, then that would mean... Oh, okay. I think it's the count of all the crust cells. So not the sum of the digits in the crust cells. So if this was a 5, then that would mean there would be 5 crust cells in those cells. Because it's the... of all the crust cells pointed out by the arrows in that cell. So if this was a 5, in here there would be 5 different crust cells, is what that means. Numbers in cells containing arrows are the total count of all the crust cells. And because it says total cell count, not the sum of the digits in crust cells. So it's the total count of crust cells, 1s and 6s, within the 6x6 grid. So if this is a 5, I have to put 5 crust cells. So 5 1s or 6s in those cells. Okay, I think I've got it. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. So it doesn't... Oh, okay. So this has to be at least 1. It can't... So this could be at most 5. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Woohoo. It can't be 6, because for this to be 6, I'd have to have 2... Well, first of all, I could have at most 1 here. Because if this is 6, I can only have 1 crust cell here, which is the 1. And then, so if this is 6, this would actually be 4. So 6 isn't possible. But if this is 5, the 1 and the 6 would be here, and I could have 3 here. 4 would allow me to have 2 here and 2 here. 3 would allow me to have 2 here and 1 here. 2 would have 2 here and 0 here. 1 would have the 6 up here and 0 here. Okay, let's look somewhere else. This, for example, This is 0, 1, or 2 because I don't need to have a crust cell in there, and the sandwich on that row could be 0. This one is 0, 1, 2, or 3 because I could have 0 of those as crust, 1 of those as crust, 2 of them, or all 3. This one, actually, I'm going to have a 1 and a 6 in here. This is just 2. So the sandwich in, because I must have a 1 and a 6 in this row. So there is just 2 in here. So the sandwich clue for this row is 2. And there's only one way of doing 2, which is a 2 on its own. So there's going to be a crust, a 2, and then another crust. This one, this could be as high as 5. So this is 0 to 5. Ugh. This one is 0 to 4. Oh, good God. And this one, again, is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I can't do 6 because if it's 6, I get 1 there, and then I could only get 4 there. So this can't be 6. So how do I start this puzzle? Well, these are both sandwich clues. Right, these are all sandwich clues. So let's mark those blue. Those are sandwich clues. So these being sandwich clues means that this and this have to be the same because the sandwich clue in this row is going to be the same. So that is 2. So I need to put 2 crusts in here. So these are both crust and these are not crust. There you go. So this is a 1, 6 pair. Now that's a crust for that clue. So this can't be a 0 because I can't put the 2 things together. So this isn't a 0. You could never have a 1 sandwich clue because in order for it to be 1, it'd have to go 1, 1, 6, and that doesn't work. So you can never have a 1 sandwich clue. How do I... So a 2 would be a 2 on its own. So I could go 1 crust, 2 crust, 3. Well, the only ways to make 3, I can't do it in a single digit, it would be a 3, but I can't do it in 2 digits because I'd have to do 1 and 2, and I can't use a 1 because 1's the crust. And 4, I can't do in 2 digits either, and I can't do it in 3 digits because the minimum 3 digits is 6. So this is 2, 3, or 4, and this must be the crust. So these are not crust. This is a 1 or a 6. But I know this is a 2 sandwich. So I know that this is going crust to crust, and I can't do it this way. So this is crust to, and this is crust. This is not crust, and these are all not crust. This is a 1 or a 6. This can't be a... oh, no, it can be a 3. This can't be a 2 anymore, because if this is a 2, it'd have to be surrounded by crust. This is not a 2. This is a 0 or a 3, and it's not a 3. Because for this to be a 3, all 3 of those would need to be crust, and that's not crust. This is a 0, meaning these are not crust. One, 2... This can't be a 4. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, but that is not crust. This is a 2 or a 3, so that's a 2 or a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've already got 2 on this, so this can't be a 0. So it's 2, 3, 4, or 5. These, right, this 0 means that they're together. So the sandwich clues are either, the crusts are either those 2 or those 2. Either way, that is crust. That I don't think can be crust. Because that sees those two digits, because that digit is that digit. Let me by Sudoku, because this, let's make this orange and this red. This becomes red because it's different to the orange. So whether if this is 1, this is 6. If this is 6, this is 1. Same there. But this becomes orange. So that sees both the orange and the red one 6. So this is now the other crust, which is orange. Red is in one of those two. This, I'm not sure. Well, it can't be 5 anymore because it'd say this is more restricted. If this is 2, it would see 2 here and that would not be crust. That seems okay. 3 would see 2 here and 1 there. That seems okay. 4 would need 2 here and 2 on this diagonal. 4 is not possible. And 5 would need to see 3 down here. That's not possible. This is a 1, a 2, or a 3. There's 2 or 3 in here. I have to put 2 or 3 crusts in here. And here, what about this one? Well, this is also restricted because I'm only seeing 1 on this diagonal. So for this to be 5, I could see 2. So this can't be 4 or 5 either for the same reason. If this was a 1, no, this can't be a 1 either. Because if this is a 1, I'm already seeing 2. So this is 2 or 3. I'm already seeing 2. In fact, no, this is a 3. This is absolutely a 3. Because now that this isn't a 1, I'm seeing both crusts in this column and I'm seeing this one. This is a 3, which is not crust. And I've got to put a red in here. But I could put the red there and then the red in one of those two. I know orange is in one of those two. But orange could be 6 and that could be the... this. Could I go orange, red, orange? No, I couldn't. This can't be a 5. Because for this to be a 5, all of those would have to be crust. But this would be orange, this would be red, and that couldn't be anything. This can't be a 5. And I think it's the same here. For this to be a 3, all of those... well, that might work. All of those would have to be crust. Those would be the same, and that would be red, red. These would all be the same. Because that would be red, that would be orange, that would be red. So all 3 of those would be red. Which would put a red there. That seems okay. Okay, what have we got otherwise? These are 3, 4, and 5. 2 is in one of those two. Red is in one of those two. Orange is in one of those two. One of these is crust. If that's orange, if that's the crust, that's orange, that's red. If that's the crust, then that's orange. I don't get it. Oh, it's the same trick as here, but here. This is a sandwich clue. So this sandwich clue is done. This sandwich clue is done. This sandwich clue is not done yet, but this one, this sandwich clue here, a 2 is a single digit sandwich clue. This is a crust for this sandwich clue. So this can't be part of it because this is non-zero sandwich clue. So this is a crust, which means this is 1, this is 6, orange is 6, red is 1. I can get rid of the orange and the red colouring. This only sees a single crust. And it's got to see a 6 in one of those two. So this is not crust. But a 2 could only be... This must be crust, because 2, 3, and 4, as I discussed here, can only be a single clue. That is the 1. These are not crust. This has to be a 2, 3, or 4, so it's not a 5. This can't be a 2. This has to see 3 or 4. These are not crust. In fact, yeah, there's a 6 down here, which will be the thing that it sees. But this is now a 1 by Sudoku. So that's crust. This is the 6. This is not crust. So this is not the 6. This is the 6, which is the crust. 1 is here by Sudoku, fulfilling this 0 sandwich. This is not crust. This is not crust. This is the 6, which is crust, and I've done all the crusts. This is seeing 4. That is a 4. This is seeing 2. That's a 2, which is that sandwich clue. That sandwich is now done, and this is a 4 sandwich, making that a 4, taking 4 out of there. This sandwich is now done. So 0 is seeing 0, 2 is seeing 2, 2 is seeing 2, 2 is seeing 2, 4 is seeing 4, and the sandwiches, 0 sandwich, 2 sandwich, 2 sandwich, 2 sandwich, and 4 sandwich. That's glorious. So now I'm down to Sudoku. This puzzle is amazing. 2 is putting 2 in one of those two. 3 is putting 3 in one of those two. So this is 4 or 5. This 4 is making that a 4. So these are 2 and 5. So 1, 2, this is a 3. This is not the 2. These 2, 4, and 5, there's no 4 there, but more importantly, there's no 2 in those. So 5, 4, 2. The 5 makes that the 3, which makes that the 5. That's just a 3. These are 4 and 5. The 5 looks up, making that the 4 and that the 5. These are 3 and 4. The 3 looks down, making that the 4 and that the 3. These are 2 and 5. The 2 looks down, making that the 5 and that the 2. These are... Well, the 3 says that's not the 3, so that's the 3, that's the 2. This is a 4, 5. The 4 makes that the 5 and that the 4. The 5 makes that the 2 and that the 5. And that is the solution to the puzzle. That is glorious. When I started this, I wasn't sure how this was ever going to kick off. There didn't seem to be enough information in the grid. But that clue there, forcing that clue there, forcing those... And then you had to realise that a 2, 3, or 4 had to be a single digit clue, which forced that to force that, and then that trick happening again there. So this taught you that this was going to be important once you realised what was going on there. That was amazing. That's absolutely stunning. I can see why my... I knew this was going to be a quick one because it was a 6x6. I was told that this was going to be probably a 20-minute puzzle. It turned out to be 15. I was told this was probably going to be a 20-minute puzzle, but a 20-minute 6x6 is still pretty challenging. That was really good. That was really, really good. Thank you, RockyRoer, for the submission. I really appreciate that one. Well, I think this is coming out on a Sunday night, so hopefully this is a good, Sunday morning for most of the world. Hopefully this is a good Sunday break for people. I think it was a nice Sunday morning brunch for sandwich theme or something. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you're enjoying the content that's coming. And as I said, if you've got any puzzle recommendations or submissions, please consider sending them through. Thanks everyone. And as always, good luck with your solving.